Hello everyone, welcome back. So now we are on our third video and we're going to talk about how misogyny shows up in relationships. We've already talked about characteristics of a misogynist. We've talked about the weapons of a misogynist, and now we're going to show how or talk about how misogyny shows up in relationships. Now, this is interesting because when I began to study and read about this topic, it was some of the things that I was reading, I just couldn't believe. It was like, wow, like this really happens, especially in the beginning of a relationship, because that is the hook, line, and sinker, right? When a man is trying to hook you in, honey, listen, it gets interesting. It is like the hook, line, and sinker. So we are going to talk about this because misogyny in relationships, I mean, I know if I didn't know, I'm sure there's some that you ladies don't know as well. So let's get into this. So, whirlwind courtships. Okay. So, this is often the fantasy of women. And men know how to play into this fantasy where a woman wants this perfect guy. And in a whirlwind courtship, everything is going fast. It's crazy. There are no bumps, there are no bloopers. Everything is flowing, like everything is just perfect. Now, let me tell you how men kind of get a sense of how to bait you into this whirlwind courtship. They start with the question of, what are you looking for in a man? Ladies, that is the most dangerous question you could ever answer as a female. And the reason that is the most dangerous because you're giving them the blueprint. You're giving them the blueprint. You're telling them everything that you want. And when I learned that this question was used as a bait tactic because they were trying to get something from me, be it my money, be it my love, my time, attention, my good, this is what I started to say. I said, I think I'm going to keep that private. But I'm sure if you're the guy for me, you're going to do these things naturally. And I'll leave it at that. Smile afterwards. Very pleasantly said. Or jokingly, why would I tell you that? Like, if you're my dude, you're my dude. You know what I mean? Just joking, teasing, giving them a rebuttal. Because ladies, you never want to give a man the blueprint. Because if he's trying to manipulate you, you've told him everything. It's like you've given him the combination to your heart. We don't do that. Let's talk about the romantic blinders. So oftentimes, love makes us see things through rose-colored glasses, and we put on blinders. So he may exhibit some bad behavior, but because he's done so many good things, you ignore it. Or maybe because he's so honest, you think, well, he's honest. He doesn't have to lie. Like, he's a good guy. For example, I had a girlfriend, and she was doing really well in her career. And she was dating a guy, and the guy was not working, right? And they were picking different restaurants to go out to, and she noticed that his restaurants weren't on the scale that she was used to. So she kind of brought it up to him because she would take him out, and he was like, well, the reason my restaurants or the ones that I pick aren't up to par with yours is because I'm not working. Like, I'm unemployed right now. And instead of her, taking a step back and saying, you know what, hey, I don't want to hamper you. I don't want to make you feel stressed in any way. How about you get your finances together and then maybe we can reconvene at that time? She kept dating him and she was like, well, at least I know he's not using me. He's told me that he's not working and he's starting to pay for some stuff. Maybe it's not as fancy, but he's helping, like he's paying for some stuff. She put that blinder on when normally a woman should say, ho, 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 ho. You have no business dating, right? You have no business dating until you are in a financially stable place because women cost money. And if you're not putting out the money to date me, that means what? I'm putting out the money to date you. And that reeks of role reversal. She did not do that. So she had these rose-colored glasses on. And little by little, he stopped paying for things. Little by little, he stopped taking her places. Little by little, she was reaching more and more into her pocket. And before she knew it, she was supporting the relationship, right? So ladies, be very cautious about romantic blinders. The next thing, you don't evaluate things. And I'm not saying that everybody is perfect, but you need to take into consideration certain things about people. For example, if you are a woman who is looking to get romantically involved, and you are a woman who's looking for a partner, you should have some non-negotiables. And these non-negotiables are what you are evaluating this person by. But when you are in love, guess what happens? You throw these non-negotiables out the window because you're in love, or you feel a certain feeling, or you feel a certain way when you're with this person, which is counterproductive. Because I keep trying to explain to women, it's not how you feel, it's about what you deserve. Because everything that feels good to you is not always good to you. So you have to evaluate everything. The next one is when you have hunches, don't ignore them. I don't know what it is about us, because I feel like hunches, intuition, God, the knowing, the unch that we get as women, whenever we're in love, we ignore it. We feel like, oh, I'm just being petty, or maybe I'm second guessing myself, or maybe, it's just my fears, or maybe I have a certain bias, or maybe, this is just me being self-sabotaging. No. When you have an hunch or an inkling, or your no is talking to you and saying something to you about a certain situation or thing, you need to heed it. You need to protect your energy. And the thing is, if you have this feeling, or this knowing, or this intuition that begins to talk to you, then guess what? You need to really heed it and protect your energy so much that you don't even want to know what it is. Just know that your third eye, your inkling or your hunch is trying to save you from some type of embarrassment, or is trying to save you from some type of hurt. Heed it, ladies. Heed it. So misogyny shows up in relationships in four ways. It shows up in a whirlwind courtship. It shows up in romantic blinders. It shows up in how you fail to evaluate everything. And it shows up when you ignore hunches. So I hope this helps. And we're going to be going on to our next video, which is how you protect yourself in these relationships. So, bye.